In Genesis 20, Abraham again finds himself in a delicate situation when he travels to the land of Gerar. Afraid of being killed because of the beauty of his wife Sarah, he decides to present her as his sister, something he had done previously in Egypt. Abimelech, the king of Gerar, takes Sarah for himself, unaware that she is married to Abraham. During the night, God appears to Abimelech in a dream and warns him that he is in grave danger, because Sarah is Abraham's wife. The king, terrified, justifies himself, explaining that he had acted innocently, since he did not know the truth. God reassures him, asking him to return Sarah to Abraham, which he does the next morning. Abimelech confronts Abraham, asking why he has brought such a calamity upon his kingdom. Abraham, fearing for his life, admits that he lied for fear of being killed. The king then returns Sarah to Abraham and offers them land and riches, asking them to remain in Gerar. God heals Abimelech's household, as they had all been punished with infertility due to their situation. At the end of this video, a special message for today. Biblical view. This chapter reveals God's ongoing plan to protect Abraham and Sarah, even in the face of human error. Abraham's lie is exposed, but God intervenes in a powerful way, showing that, despite human weaknesses, his plan is sovereign. Abraham's concern for his own life led him to repeat the mistake of the past, but this did not prevent God from continuing to fulfill his promise to give Abraham and Sarah an heir. Abimelech's dream is an example of God's direct communication with the rulers of the time, alerting them to his intentions and protecting his chosen ones. The restitution of Sarah and the blessings offered by Abimelech to Abraham highlight God's power to transform situations of human error into blessings and opportunities for reconciliation. The story reinforces faith in God, who acts to fulfill his promises even when we make mistakes. Archaeological context: Gerar, mentioned in the account, was a Philistine city located in southern Canaan, near the Negev desert. Excavations in the region suggest that Gerar was an important commercial and agricultural center in the Bronze Age. The city controlled a crucial trade route between Egypt and Canaan, making it a strategic location for kings like Abimelech. The archaeological context shows that cities like Gerar were well fortified and had Egyptian and Mesopotamian cultural influences, reflecting the cultural diversity of the time. Although a specific Abimelech has not yet been identified in historical records outside the Bible, it is possible that the title Abimelech was used generically, like Pharaoh in Egypt, referring to different rulers over time. The biblical account fits into the context of city-states that dominated the region at that time. Biblical studies. Biblical scholars view Genesis 20 as an account that explores themes of ethics, morality, and trust in God. Abraham, considered the father of faith, acts out of human fear rather than full trust in God's promises. The chapter challenges the idea of moral perfection in biblical figures and reveals human nature and its flaws, showing that even great biblical leaders made mistakes. Scholars also point out that the interaction between Abraham and Abimelech reflects the diplomatic relations of the time, where kings traded territory in exchange for security. The story of Abraham and Sarah in Egypt, Genesis 12, is seen as parallel to this chapter, suggesting that the biblical author may be emphasizing a repetitive pattern in human behavior and divine intervention. Furthermore, God's role as the protector of his promises is a recurring theme, emphasizing that even when God's servants fail, he intervenes to ensure the fulfillment of his plans. Archaeological finds. The Gerar area has been the subject of several excavations, and although the precise identification of the biblical city is debated, many scholars believe that it may correspond to the archaeological site of Tel Harar. Excavations at Tel Harar have revealed a walled city with evidence of an advanced irrigation system, suggesting a prosperous society. Among the finds were agricultural tools, pottery, and fortifications, indicating a city that developed between the Late Bronze Age and the Early Iron Age. One point of archaeological interest is the absence of texts or inscriptions that directly mention Abimelech, which leads scholars to believe that the name is a common title. Nevertheless, the finds confirm that Gerar was an important city, situated on a vital trade route, and the patterns of life that emerge from these discoveries offer insight into the context in which Abraham would have lived and traveled. The story of Abraham, Sarah, and Abimelech makes us reflect on human nature and the tendency to act out of fear, without thinking about the consequences, even when there are divine promises of protection. Today, we live in a world where fear and insecurity also lead to impulsive actions and decisions based on earthly concerns rather than spiritual trust. Just as Abraham had to learn to trust God, we are constantly challenged to place our faith in something greater than our immediate circumstances. Furthermore, the context of diplomatic negotiations and interactions between different cultures that we see in the Genesis 20 account is still relevant today, where issues of borders, territories, and agreements between nations continue to shape the global landscape. By connecting the lessons of the past to our reality, we can see how faith and morality continue to play crucial roles in our decisions and human interactions. Before you act, think. Impulse may take you places, but reflection guides you to the right destination. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember, every day is a new opportunity to call on the name of the Lord. Until next time.